don't tell me about me. Stop telling 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 me about me. I don't need you to tell me about me.
All right, now we back up in here, man. Where my oldest at? Yo, yeah. There we go, man. Look, man. Welcome back, y'all, to another one, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Another episode, Let's Talk with Jay vs. Jordan. Another episode on the JVJ Network. Another episode on Facebook, Let's Talk with JVJ, man. As always, on y'all way in, do your boy that favor, please. Help a brother out. We trying to grow. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share the videos, turn the notice on, and make sure you click all, man. We trying to get it around here, and I can only do it with y'all help, so appreciate y'all this help. Look, man, tonight we covering the police as usual. It's a Thursday night cop show, and I have an update on one of the videos that we covered previously that we're going to talk on, and then I also have another video, and depending on how I'm feeling, how froggy I'm feeling, we might even do a third video. I don't know, but it all depends. Shout out ahead of time to the Lackluster channel. Got to give a shout out to him, and shout out again to the civil rights lawyer. Gonna be covering 2 of their videos. So yeah, y'all tune in, man. You already know what I say, man. I don't know, you need to get your drink, get your cigarettes, get your weed, whatever you need. Y'all ahead and get it right now, because we go ahead and jump into this thing. And now let's just see what we got, man, because I'm trying to tell y'all, man, a lot of y'all need to wake up. We do these videos. I do these videos for a reason, man. I'm not doing it just to get over here and talk shit about the cops. I ain't doing it for that. I'm doing these videos so people will open up their eyes and understand what's actually going on around and what reality actually is. Not living in a fairy tale of cops good, people be bad and shit like that. Nah, understand what's actually happening on a day-to-day basis in your fellow citizens' lives, because it very possibly can happen in yours. And let's correct it before it gets to that point, man. I think about preventative measures, not reactive measures. But, that's just me. But either way, though, we going into the video. If y'all ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and get it, y'all. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got right here.
No. That's illegal. Iris, you're fine. That is illegal. Excuse me, you cannot force your way into my home.
Remember the video I showed you about 8 months ago where the cop in Kentucky barges into this woman's home while she's standing there in only a towel, and she correctly says that you can't do this. That's illegal.
You are not legally. This is illegal. Get out of my house. This is illegal. You just, excuse me.
And the cop says, so file a lawsuit.
It's illegal. File a civil lawsuit.
No.
Well, she did file a lawsuit, and now it's settled. Before I tell you how much it's settled for, in a comment, tell me how much you think her lawyers were able to settle her lawsuit for. Not what you think she should get, what you think she did get. I'll tell you what happened, and we'll see if you're close or if you're right.
He said, if it's illegal, file a civil lawsuit. So I did.
I hope y'all understand, man. Look, I keep telling people, man, certain people think that they do it to other folks. They do it to people that look like me, Hispanics, Asians, Indians, things of that sort. A lot of white folks think that. And I'm not trying to tell y'all, they do it to y'all too. And guess what? They ain't just doing it to you men. They doing it to you women too. It's white on white violence, whether you know it or not. Better open your eyes and pay attention.
If we want to stay on top of the constant government overreach, we have to be able to consistently and comfortably absorb all the new information. I need audio gear that's reliable and comfortable to use all day, every day.
We ain't doing no Raycon commercial. We ain't doing no Raycon commercial. Nope.
The work that I did.
Nope.
Her daughter was okay. Without a warrant, he said he wanted to make sure that her daughter was okay. When she asked for a warrant, he forced his way inside the house.
Do you have a warrant?
No.
That's illegal. Excuse me, you cannot force your way into my home.
The footage of this shocked a judge who dismissed the criminal charges and laid an epic smackdown on this officer.
Mr. Curtis had zero respect for the Constitution, for which he took an oath and swore to uphold. And quite frankly, I was appalled. I've never seen a video like that.
That police officer resigned, but then he was hired somewhere else. And after a few months, he got fired from there. And as it turns out, this wasn't the first time that he had entered somebody's home and committed violence inside without a warrant or any other lawful justification. He actually was sued for it before. But wait, there's more. Another man came forward with body cam footage that shows this officer trying to collect a private debt using his job and another police officer.
But I don't know why he thought he could just intimidate me like that. I don't disagree with you.
So this incident occurred in Frankfort, Kentucky. And by the way, Frankfort supposedly got its name from the 1780s when...
Hey, good old Kentucky, man. When y'all be talking about cousin effers and all that stuff, that's where it is. Stop saying Alabama. That's Kentucky. In the backwoods in the mountains of Kentucky is where they make love to their cousins and stuff, sisters and brothers and stuff. Like, stop saying Alabama. That's not us.
And frontiersman Stephen Frank was killed by Indians at a crossing on the Kentucky River, and that spot became known as Frank's Fort, which eventually evolved into Frankfort. Frankfort is the capital of Kentucky, but it's actually pretty small. Frankfort's population was only around 28,000 people as of 2020, making it the smallest state capital in the United States by population. It's nestled in a deep valley along a bend in the Kentucky River, and it's home to the Buffalo Trace Distillery, one of the oldest continuously operating distilleries in the United States. Legendary frontiersman Daniel Boone and his wife, Rebecca. Do you know what her last name was? Rebecca Bryant, a distant cousin of mine. They're both buried, supposedly, in Frankfort Cemetery, perched on a hill overlooking the city. Now to more recent events. It was July 7th of 2023. Kimberly Myers was a 46-year-old mother. She had a career in corporate accounting. But on that particular day, she was just spending a leisurely day at her home in Frankfort with her teenage daughter. Kimberly had just gotten out of the shower. She hears a knock at the door, so she answers the door. Having just gotten out of the shower, she's dressed only in a towel. And it was then she cracks the door open, and that's when she sees then Frankfort police detective Larry Gus Curtis with a group of police officers and social workers. Curtis demanded that Kimberly allow him to speak with her daughter.
Just make sure the daughter is okay. Yep, she's fine. Thank you. Have a what? I'm sorry. You have a what?
When Kimberly merely asked Curtis if he had a warrant to enter her home, Curtis responded no, but then he immediately shoved the door into Kimberly, injuring her and unlawfully invading her home.
Do you have a warrant?
No.
That's illegal. Iris, you're fine. That is illegal. Excuse me, you cannot force your way into my home. You are not legally. This is illegal. Get out of my house. This is illegal. You just, excuse me.
Officer Curtis was enraged by Kimberly's assertion of her constitutional rights, so he directed that she be placed in handcuffs and had her arrested on the spot without probable cause, and therefore in violation of her Fourth Amendment rights. As he twisted her arm behind her back with a towel falling off of her, Curtis glibly told Kimberly, if it's illegal, file a civil lawsuit.
It's illegal. File a civil lawsuit.
So she did.
In federal court.
Now, I want y'all to understand something, because I know when I do these type of videos, people always say, oh, you just picking on the cops. There are so many good cops that go out there and do their job every day, and they don't deserve this. They don't need this attention, this narrative placed on them. The body cam that we're seeing was not from the detective that bust inside her door illegally. It's from another officer. So are we going to throw him in the bad category because he sat right there and watched that guy do that and participated in it? Because I'm just want to get it. I want to get it understood, because, you know, like if you go into a gas station, I drive you to the gas station, you go in there and rob it, and you come out and I drive off. You know, if we get stopped by the cops because you just robbed a gas station, you know, I'm going to jail too as an accomplice. So would you still rope the cop in as being an accomplice, the one who watched him do this illegal shit and didn't step in and try to stop it? Because that's why I say majority of these motherfuckers are bad. You know, either they're bad by doing the bad thing, or they're bad by being complicit to the shit that other cops do that are bad and that's bad and illegal. So, you know. But, you know, he told her to sue her, so let's see what she got. She said she sued him.
She sued the city of Frankfort, the former Frankfort police chief, and Curtis for excessive force and violating her civil rights. All settled with Myers for $350,000. And under the agreement, Curtis can never work for the city of Frankfort in any capacity.
At least I was able to get that in this settlement to at least protect the city of Frankfort from this officer. But there's still an issue of public oversight.
It can really make a difference.
Think about how stupid she just sounded to protect the city from this officer. The city hired him. Even when she got wrong, she talking about protect the city from the officer. The city is the reason that dude was an officer. Just throwing it out there. At least you got $350K though. You didn't get told of that. You know your lawyers probably took at least $100K of that, or at least $150 of that. You probably walked away with at least $100. But nah, baby, you ain't protecting the city from that bad officer. The city just gave away your tax dollars to appease you because the person they hired violated your constitutional rights. That's what happened.
Difference for the success or the settlement amount of a civil rights lawsuit, what type of plaintiff you have who filed the lawsuit. Is this a criminal whose rights were violated, or was it somebody who a jury could sympathize with? Was it a regular person? And it's just as important when it comes to the police officer who was involved. Do they have a history of this sort of thing? Are they a sympathetic individual? Will a jury like them? Or will a jury hate their guts? Have they been fired from other departments? Have they resigned elsewhere? So this was a situation where that was at play on both ends of that. You have this regular mom sort of in a towel answering the door that any woman you're going to have on a jury is going to be able to sympathize with. And then you had this, by all accounts, apparently terrible cop. So according to the lawsuit, and I'll post the entire thing at the blog, it will be linked in the first pinned comment below. So this was the Frankfort Police Department, but Curtis had previously worked at the Georgetown Police Department, and he resigned from there February 1st, 2017, 2 days after being served with a 48-hour notice regarding numerous acts of misconduct. Despite his employment record of numerous acts of misconduct, where he had to leave Georgetown, Frankfort Police Department hired him anyways. But his unsuitability for police work would become evident to Frankfort almost immediately when, in August of 2018, he unlawfully entered the home of two other people, Keontae Russell and Cheyenne Washington. Curtis tased and beat Russell before arresting both of them, all without any probable cause. And that manifested into a lawsuit, which settled before trial. So what does Frankfort do after that happens? Nothing. He received no additional training. He was permitted to remain on the force. He was given no punishment for entering the home unlawfully of a law-abiding Kentucky resident and attacking them inside that home. Instead, Frankfort Police Department promoted Curtis to detective and assigned him to work with vulnerable people such as victims of sexual crimes, children, and people with mental health issues. What could go?
Y'all see why I say that lady kind of stupid for saying she wanted to protect the city from a bad cop. The city hired this motherfucker, and he had already been sued. They already saw with him being hired, or they at least should have, because they're supposed to have databases open for this. They should have seen that he had to resign from his previous police department because of misconduct issues. Maybe that would be a question during the hiring phase. No, we're not going to talk about that. And then as soon as y'all hired a motherfucker, he ends up doing the exact same thing he did to this woman, but earlier. No reprimand, no new training, no nothing. Just give out some taxpayer dollars and get back on out there, boy, and violate some more. You weren't protecting the city. The city was complicit with the bullshit. All of them are complicit with this shit. That's why I try to get people to understand. The city knew who they hired, and they did it for a reason. These people are not out here to protect me and you. They're not truly out here to enforce the law. They're here to protect rich folks' property and look out for their buddies. That's all it is. Let's keep going.
Wrong. According to the lawsuit, during his time there, Curtis amassed numerous citizen complaints and more 48-hour notices, and the department failed to address those issues. Many of those arrests resulted in charges that were dismissed for lack of evidence or significantly amended down. He had a habit of significantly overcharging, which meant that many people would spend substantially more time in custody and would have their families torn apart before the charges were inevitably eventually dropped, as was the case here that happened to Kimberly Myers. Despite all of this, the Frankfort Police Department saw it fit to award Officer or Detective Curtis its 2022 Officer of the Year award. Why? Well, they said because he had a high volume of arrests. The records that Kimberly's lawyers were able to find showed, despite their award, they knew that he had issues. In 2023, Curtis's supervisor specifically stated in his performance evaluation that he had a, quote, tendency to push quickly to a conclusion, and that he should, quote, take note not only of facts that lead to the believed conclusion, but also those that lead elsewhere. And as
they gave this motherfucking award for putting citizens in jail. But I bet the people in Frankfurt probably like, well, you can't judge the officer. Like, the dude was out there just to lock y'all asses up and generate revenue. That's why I say that lady was still wrong for saying that. I don't know why if you get wrong and your rights get violated, you still sympathetic with motherfuckers that are complicit with this person doing what they did to you. That makes no sense to me at all. How can you be sympathetic with a group of people that were complicit in you getting fucked up and having your rights violated? Them rights that y'all claim y'all care about so much that people died for, fought and died for these rights. You know, a lot of my instances of fought and died for them bitches, and you just don't even give a fuck. You don't even give a fuck. This dude been out here violating, man. Been out here, and y'all knew he was out here violating. Why was he still there? Ain't no telling. Ain't no telling, y'all. It can't be that the cops are just pieces of shit and the city is okay with it.
As a result of his false arrest and illegal entry into Kimberly's home, how was she damaged? Well, according to the lawsuit, Frankfurt's local newspaper, the State Journal, published the false information created by Curtis, along with her mugshot. It said local mother charged with strangling and assaulting teen. In fact, Kimberly spent 3 days in jail after her arrest in an overcrowded cell in the Franklin County Regional Jail, drinking melted ice from a cooler to try to stay hydrated. Then when that case went to trial, there was a suppression hearing where it was relevant whether or not Curtis followed the Constitution, and the judge was not happy at all. And basically the judge concluded that Curtis had lied and violated the Constitution, and she let him have it at this hearing.
Mr. Curtis had zero respect for the Constitution, for which he took an oath and swore to uphold. And quite frankly, I was appalled. I've never seen a video like that.
Regarding the entry, she said, "This is Law School 101. This is the textbook example of the definition of what constitutes an unlawful entry into a person's home." After reviewing the body cam footage multiple times, thinking surely to goodness I had missed something, it instead became glaringly apparent to me that Mr. Curtis had zero respect for the Constitution, for which he took an oath and swore to uphold.
I hope y'all heard that part. This is what the judge wrote. This is what the judge wrote. The judge watched after reviewing the body cam footage multiple times, thinking, to goodness, I had missed something. Trying her best. Think about this, y'all. Because I want to know if the average citizen do you think the average citizen gets this much benefit of the doubt from this exact same judge? She watched the video multiple times, trying to hope that she missed something that would vindicate the officer. Watched it one time, not right. Let me watch it again. Watch it again, not right. Citizen still in the right, the cop is wrong. Hold on. Let me watch it again. Watch it again, still not right. Nah, fuck that. One more time. Let me watch it one more time. Yeah, he really did fuck that lady up, man. Why the fuck he do that? Judge had to watch it multiple times to see what the fuck we all saw the first time we saw it. This is the judge. And she did. Why do you think she gave that preferential treatment to that officer? Do you think it's because she know him? It's because he's an officer? Or just because that's just the way that she deliberates on things? It's because he's a cop. I don't even understand how people are not disturbed with that. You watch the video multiple times trying to find a way to vindicate the officer. That's what you watched it for. I bet money you don't watch it multiple times to try to see if the citizen is innocent. You had to watch it multiple times to actually say the citizen was goddamn innocent. Because after seeing it the first time, you're like, nah, man, I had to miss something, bro. I had to miss something. Ain't no way. No one getting goddamn well. It is a fucking way. I'm talking about you ain't never seen no cop illegally enter another person's house. You didn't hear about it when he got sued earlier? Because it's in the same jurisdiction. You know, you work with the other judges. I want y'all to understand how dumb this is. She works with the other judges. Judges talk about their cases with each other, the ones that they have to rule over. She ain't never heard or seen nothing like that, knowing this man got sued a year before for doing exactly that. Think about that. So you don't talk to your colleagues, huh? You don't hear about current case law or judgments done in your fucking jurisdiction. Man, fuck all that shit. That's just a joke. Y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all it's a joke. Shout out to Uncanny. He said, you're like, for this is crazy when you really think about it. Take time and step back to listen to the words. Like, bitch, this don't even make sense. The judge seemed fucked up. I bet money is a lot of people in fucking city and state, county jail, prison because of her rulings. But all this leniency and compassion and understanding she gave to the cop and still had to finally come to the conclusion, like, yeah, what I saw the first time was what I saw. But I had to watch it multiple times to make sure. Like, hell to the nah, man. Y'all crazy.
Was appalled by the arrogance, and that was incredibly.
Matter of fact, hold up, man. I got to do it for this one, man. That's irritating. I don't know.
Brother, what's that?
What the fuck is that, man? What the fuck is that? That's crazy. That irritates me. I got my chest hot, man.
Disappointed. And thereafter, Kimberly's charges were dropped, but they weren't dropped until April 16th of 2024, the following year. So remember, in addition to 3 days in jail, in this terrible jail, terrible conditions, mugshot, accusing her of these terrible things in the community, and having the charges held over her head for almost a year, all of that plays a part in what that case would eventually settle for. It's not just
lie on the hoe. Y'all, I'm trying to tell you, they lied on the hoe. They lied on her, ran up in her house, took her to jail for 3 days, then put out a social media post saying all this shit about it, knowing good and goddamn well y'all ain't verified none of that, y'all ain't investigated none of that. Y'all charged this lady held charges over her head for a whole year. All for her to end up getting them shits dropped and then suing your ass. And this bitch talking about, I want to do it for the city. I'm still not going to let that go, bro. She said she wanted to do it for the city. The city is the reason that you got fucked over, bitch. I want you to understand that the city, the cops, the judge, the prosecutor, all of them, all complicit. All complicit. Your state and local government was all complicit in trying to hem you up and ruin your reputation in the public. Kidnapped you, put you in jail for 3 days, held a case over your head. Was gonna take your ass to trial, bitch. They're gonna take your ass to trial, bitch. They finally end up dropping the charges. You sue them, and then they have to pay out, and they don't fucking do shit. Man, y'all crazy, bro. Man, look, man.
For fuck's sake, not that again.
It's crazy, man. This is crazy, man. I just don't understand how people don't see this and get fired up, man. You supposed to get fired up about this shit, man. This is crazy. And we sitting around here just, okay, willy-nilly, like, yeah, they happening to me. So, that's what the greatest society is about.
The technical unlawful entry of that home and the arrest of that individual lacking any context. It's the context of this officer's history, the Frankfort Police Department's decision to hire them, everything they ignored, everything they allowed, everything they ratified by giving him awards and promoting him. That all played a part. It wasn't just this one bad officer. It was the systematic lack of accountability that altogether caused the harm to this woman. And the harm to her wasn't just theoretical constitutional injury because he entered her home. She suffered real harm. At some point, she would go before a jury and testify about all these things that happened and the effect that it had on her, and a jury could award damages based on that. It's all intangible. But where you have this unlikable officer, you have this likable plaintiff, who knows what a jury would do? They would also have the ability to probably award punitive damages and then damages against the city itself for their part in this. All of that is at play. And it's very difficult to put a number on things like this. And here's my opinion. That is a pretty good settlement for an unlawful entry into a house. It's a pretty good settlement for a false arrest. Again, it depends on all those factors. You have to look at it in context. And if this case had gone to trial, this case had all those different things going for it, which many people don't. Most often, the cops violate the civil rights of people who are not necessarily sympathetic. They have committed some crime. They have engaged in some wrongdoing. They're spouting off on the body cam in a way that a jury is not going to like. Maybe the officer has no prior disciplinary history. The officer wasn't fired at prior departments and you don't have a judge who has specifically said on the record that this officer has violated the Constitution and is a terrible cop and is not to be trusted. So this case had a lot going for it. So don't be fooled by the number. $350,000. Pretty good. There will still be people out there saying,
I say it ain't enough. And I bet money that's what he gonna say right now. There's gonna be people out here saying that it ain't enough. It ain't enough. Because we gonna compound everything that you just said.
well, it's not enough. It should be $350 million. Yeah, but that's not reality. That's not the real world that we live in. You never know what a jury is going to do. The more common result is that qualified immunity is given to the police officer and you don't even get to a jury. And when you do, when and if you do get to a jury, the most common result is they side with the government, they side with the police, because they're not told that the officer doesn't have to pay whatever they award. They're not told that there's insurance. They're not told that the city is going to indemnify the officer. The jury is shielded from that. So when they do award money, they assume the officer himself is going to have to pay it. And unless they're really, really angry at the officer, a lot of times it's a very, very small number. So anyways, that's my thoughts on this settlement. It's good to share.
Right. Appreciate them thoughts, because I'm about to disagree with you right now. Shout out to the civil rights lawyer. Look, he be having these good videos, giving shit that I can't find. But I say 350,000 ain't enough. And the reason I will say why is because of everything that he actually said. If it was just an illegal entry situation, 350,000, yeah, they just bust in your house, whatever the fuck, you got to go home, you got to, you was able to stay in the house, so you can go to jail and nothing, but they bust in your house, fuck your door up and shit. 350K, yeah. Illegal arrest, you just got illegally arrested. Let's say you walking down the street, whatever the fuck, and they just grab you and take you to jail. You the wrong person. They got your ID and everything. They know it ain't you. You ain't did nothing. They just took you to jail. Legal arrest, 350,000. Yeah, I would say that. But combined, oh no, it's not enough. It's not enough. You bust in my house, knowing you didn't have no warrant. Then you arrested my ass. And I had to go through all this little suffering in jail and shit. You ain't had no probable cause. You ain't had no warrant. You ain't had nothing. You just arrested somebody. Yeah, I kicked in their front door. I walked in there and I arrested that bitch. It's like, yeah, Johnson, you did a good job today. It's like, what the fuck did she do? What did she do for you to do all that? Nah, I think $350,000 ain't enough, man. $500,000 is enough. $500,000 would be better. I would put it like that, would be better. But that should be $1 million lawsuit right there, I'll bet. And I don't care about nothing about the jury. See, that's the problem that we have right now. The real issue, we can talk about the cops. We can talk about how they operate and how they do things, how the city officials do things and that of that sort. But the real problem is the citizens. That's the real problem. Because we got so many blind ass fucking cocksucking bootlickers out here that follow behind this shit and just automatic. They get down boys. They get down girls. They lay down for the government every time it turns around. Now, if the government is pointed at somebody else, they on the side of the government. But as soon as the government does something to them, then they want to fucking open their mouth and say some shit. We got a lot of Americans that don't care about their fellow Americans in this country right now. We got a lot of them. And they don't give a fuck when these people fucked you up. And if we don't have a united effort to push back on this shit, what you think is going to happen? It's going to get worse. That's why they was spying on your ass. That's why they spying on your ass. Eric Snowden living in Russia right now because these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about what we think. Because we also spread out. We got too many motherfuckers that will join their side and agree with them when they're violating their fellow Americans. Like, them bitches won't do that shit to them. That's the biggest problem. That's the biggest take that I get from this video. We got too many Americans that's lay down boys, man. Lay down girls, man. Lay down girls. And it be for the funniest shit, man. It be for like some of the weakest asses motherfuckers that we got on the planet, man. I'm like, man, because a lot of cops be pussy. And a lot of these politicians, these people that work for your city and shit like that, these motherfuckers, yeah, y'all see me, I'm clicking on shit, man. We about to go to the next video in a second. But a lot of these motherfuckers don't, man, they pie as hell. They pie as hell. I'm putting it like that. I don't know if y'all know what pie mean. I don't know if y'all know what pie mean. We be using down here in the South. I think some folks up north use it. But it's all fucked up all the way around. But here you go. Once again, we're gonna cover another video where, just so y'all know, y'all can flick the cops off. Yeah, y'all can flick them off, y'all. Y'all can give them the middle fucking finger. Yeah, you can give them that. And they can't do shit to you. Legally, they can't do shit to you. But let's just see when one of them gets pissed off and he actually tries to do something to you, because that middle finger hurt his feelings. Motherfucker sensitive as Charmin. But either way, though, let's see what we got.
What I saw on my
Oh, and shout out to the Lackluster channel. Shout out to the Lackluster channel. And shout out to Hurricane, too. He said salute. Man, shout out to Hurricane. But yeah, Lackluster channel providing the video for us on this one, y'all.
traffic stop was you flipping me off and yelling out the window. I don't know who yelled. I don't know who flipped me off. What is your last name?
First Amendment protected speech. That's what this is. You could get one too. First Amendment protected free speech.
That doesn't bug me. That's what you pulled me over for.
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. In April of 2024, Deputy Nick Helmer of the Ravalli County Sheriff's Office initiated a traffic stop.
Hey there, Deputy Home with the Sheriff's Office. Reading the stop is the blue license plate lights. Oh, yeah, they have to be white, man. So do you have your license, registration, proof, insurance?
The driver retrieved his documents for Deputy Helmer.
Do you have a more current insurance? This one expired in October.
While looking for the current insurance on his phone, Angst Audits happens to drive past and yells an expletive while the passenger flips the deputy off.
All right, here's a warning for the license plate lights. Okay, drive safe.
Look like somebody in a hurry for fuck the police in the middle finger, y'all. Look, like for real, you ain't gonna sit here and extort this young man, get some money from his family. Your feelings got hurt, so you gonna just stop extorting this motherfucker. Your feelings just got hurt, so you about to hop in that car quick. Look how quick he went and got in the car. I ain't gonna lie, it really wasn't quick to me, but you can tell that he was doing it. He had a little pep in his step. Listen to them feet hitting the ground.
While looking for the current insurance on his phone, Angst Audits happens to drive past and yells an expletive while the passenger flips the deputy off.
All right, here's a warning for the license plate lights. Okay, drive safe.
Fuck the stop. Didn't even get there running this kid shit. Didn't do none of that. He ain't finished his extortion on the young man. He heard fuck the police. That mother said, I gotta go. That boy revving that bitch.
Moments later, the deputy catches up with Angst Audits and initiates a traffic stop.
Hey there, Deputy Home with the Sheriff's Office. Reading for the stops is disorderly conduct. So do you guys both have your driver's license, registration, insurance?
So what you're pulling me over for?
So disorderly conduct and obstructing a peace officer.
So my freedom of speech?
So you yelling out the window, flipping me off, is distracting me from my job and hindering my investigation that I was roadside with.
No.
Okay. Well, that's
obstruction is physical.
So do you have your license, registration, proof, insurance?
Yes, I have everything.
Okay, can I have that?
I would need a lawful reason for the stop.
Disorderly conduct and obstructing a peace officer.
That's
okay. You can hand me your license.
Obstruction is a
right
physical
now. You're
act.
obstructing me again. So do you have your driver's license, registration, and insurance?
Yes.
60128. Can you send me another unit?
Deputy Helmer requests backup, and Angst Audits asks for a supervisor.
Name and badge number.
Deputy Helmer, 1328.
You do realize that pulling me over for my freedom of speech is a violation of my First Amendment right. You will lose your qualified immunity for this, you know.
That's fine.
And I will take you to court.
That's fine.
Right.
So you should read up on the disorderly conduct law.
I have all my information right here. And I will be giving it to your supervisor when he shows up.
Okay. You can hand me your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance, as well as the passenger, please. You are requested by law to do so.
I have it
I'm
right
giving
here.
you a lawful command to give me your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance, as well as your passenger.
Passengers don't have to ID.
Yes, they do. Because
That's
you
a
guys are
violation of the
obstructing my
Fourth
investigation and the disorderly conduct.
There was no disorderly conduct. That's freedom of speech.
Okay, sir, I'm going to give you one chance.
I'm going to ask for your
So I'm going to ask for your driver's license one more time. If you fail to identify yourself, okay, I'd like to have it.
I have to present it. I don't have to give it to you. I have to present it.
And I'm asking for your registration and insurance.
Right here.
Y'all see what's going down right now, right? I want everybody to understand that this shit is illegal. This is 100% illegal, and I don't care what nobody around the country, none of your fellow Americans want to tell you, oh, well, he's being rude to the cop. Fuck that. You can say fuck the police and not have to worry about you shouldn't have to worry about getting pulled over and harassed. You have freedom of speech. Ain't that what the people on the right always be talking about? I bet money there'd be a lot of people on the right that would be arguing against this. They'd be arguing, he's saying fuck the police, you need to have respect for authority. But also, I believe in First Amendment right, freedom of speech. It's like I gotta hear motherfuckers saying that shit. I know the people on the left would be real mad and just say this some bullshit. This some bullshit. But they'll bow down and do exactly what he doing right now. Don't give your shit to them. Man, look, dude, you have to yank me out this motherfucking car, bro. Just sit there and don't say nothing to him, bro. Just sit there and don't say nothing to him. He damaged your vehicle. You do all that shit. Yeah, it's going to take some time for it to get fixed. It's going to be fucked up. You're going to have to figure that shit the fuck out for a while. But you damn sure going to have a lawsuit. The dude can't pull you over for flicking them off and saying fuck the police. You can't. They can't. No matter how much it hurt their feelings, no matter how much they think it's mean, they can't do that, y'all. We're going to see the outcome of this. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Okay. I can't read.
Oh, and passengers, you do not have to identify. You weren't the one driving the car. You weren't the one that's being accused of doing nothing. It's the driver that's being accused of that. So you don't have to give nothing up, bro. You don't have to give nothing up. Stop giving y'all IDs and stop letting them run IDs of everybody in the goddamn car. Bitch, I can sit over here while you conduct your investigation, but I'm not part of it. Y'all better get on. Man, look, stand for something, fall for everything.
Read it through the window.
Raining out there, cuz.
You're not going to lose your qualified immunity for this.
Okay, that's fine, sir. I don't really care about that right now.
Yeah, because it's the taxpayers that pay for the lawsuit that you caused. I know.
Okay. Okay. And do you have your license?
It's in the back seat.
Okay. What's your name?
I plead the fifth, sir. Sorry, I'm.
Okay, you are required to identify yourself because what I saw on my traffic stop was you flipping me off and yelling out the window. I don't know who yelled. I don't know who flipped me off.
First Amendment protected speech.
Okay, so, sir, please educate yourself on disorderly conduct before.
Listen to what he said. He said he asked for her because he don't know which one of them flicked him off. But you running everybody ID. So if you don't know who did something, that just give you the right to stop everybody, right? Y'all think the law works like that? And I don't understand why she having a conversation back and forth with that motherfucker. I act like I'm retarded. If I'm in the car with y'all and y'all get stopped by the cops, I promise you, I ain't got nothing to say to them unless I start seeing them do some fucked up shit, and then I'm gonna try to give you some advice. But outside of that, bro, I'm dumb, deaf, and mute in this bitch. Why is she talking to him, man? I ain't giving you shit. Bitch, you didn't pull me over. Y'all need to understand y'all rights, bro. You do not have to identify as a passenger. You do not have to identify. Stop giving y'all shit up, bro. All they doing is trying to find a reason to get something on you. They not there to be your friend. This dude's so mad and sensitive right now because somebody said, fuck the police and flicked them off. He doing all this because of that. People could die in these situations, man.
Before you start spouting it, okay?
You can't make a law against any of my constitutional rights.
I need your name and contact information. Right now you are obstructing, and I'm just going to let you know now.
My name is Ruth.
Ruth?
But I refuse to give you my last name.
All right, what's your last name, Ruth?
Bow down.
I told you I refuse to give it to you because you do not need it.
Guys, I'm not playing this game over and over with you, okay?
Bow down, girl. He already violating you. You gonna bow down to it. Crazy.
Okay, I'm telling you, you're obstructing me because you committed.
You don't know what obstruction is. You don't know what disorderly is. Those
okay, first person. I'm not arguing with you, sir. I'm done with you for right now. I'm just not talking to her.
I did nothing wrong.
And I'm like, look, if he had this, and that's why I don't like the dude that's getting stopped by the cops right now. Cause I'm like, dude, if you gonna stand on your shit, stand on your shit, bro. I wouldn't have gave that man nothing. Stop talking to him. Wait till his supervisor get there and let him tell his little lie for why he pulled you over. And then you tell what the fuck happened. And if his supervisor decided to want to go down that dirty, dumb road, then go tell him, take me to jail. Take me to jail, motherfucker. Take me to jail, because I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. Otherwise, man, look, dude, stop fucking talking to these motherfuckers, man. He's sitting here talking to the dude. You already gave that man your ID and all this shit, bro. You know it's an illegal stop. You know it's an illegal stop. You ain't gave him your shit. Shut up now. Just shut up and don't give him nothing else, bro. Let him go do his dumb shit. You already got a lawsuit, man. This shit is stupid, man. And tell your girl shut the fuck up.
Ruth, what's your last name?
I've done nothing wrong.
What is your last name?
First Amendment protected speech. That's what this is.
What is
Tell your girl to shut up. Trying to be hard.
If you fail to identify yourself to me, you will go to jail tonight.
You can get one too. First Amendment protected free speech.
How do you spell that?
Free speech. First Amendment.
That doesn't bug me.
Look how hard, man.
No,
that's what you pulled me over for.
Okay. And I'm not shining my light at you.
Where's your supervisor?
I don't know, man. He's on his way. I called.
Deputy Helmer returns to his cruiser, where he then turns off his body camera.
You realize it's First Amendment protected free speech. You guys are pulling me over for.
I didn't make stop.
Well, you can let them know what First Amendment protected free speech is. And you can also let me know what your name and badge number is.
Branson 15.
Name and badge number.
Rollins, badge number 1315.
All right, because nobody here is stopping him from violating my First and Fourth Amendment rights. Everybody's qualified immunity is going to be up for grabs. Everybody's qualified immunity will be out the window.
3 words and 1 finger brought 4 law enforcement officers to the scene.
Instead of calling the supervisor asked for, he just calls for more backup.
I don't know what the stop was for. He never said. He just.
He literally said it on my camera. It's because we yelled "fuck the police" and flipped him off, which is First Amendment protected speech and redress of grievance with my government.
And government? What's your government?
You guys, you're government agents, right?
Right. So you said your government, like you were implying that you.
No, it's what the wording of the First Amendment. Do you know there's 5 points of the First Amendment?
I know there's probably more than that. It just depends on the state.
No, there's 5
Because
points.
every state has its own amendments too.
Yeah,
right?
but they can't.
Well, listen to the dumbasses they fucking have as law enforcement officers. This motherfucker don't even know the Constitution. They shit ain't got more than 5 fucking points, bitch. It's depending on your state. The states. Are you talking about the state constitution or the U.S. Constitution? Because I think the guy in the car talking about the U.S. Constitution, not no state constitution. Because it don't matter what the state constitution is. If the federal constitution, the Constitution of the United States overrules that shit, don't matter what the fuck the state will say. If you violated anything on this list, bitch, you guilty. This dumbass, he don't even know the Constitution, man. A lot of Americans don't know their Constitution. A lot of folks didn't pay attention in civics class, man. But you got some rights that are allowed to you. You might want to read up on them. Especially if you think I'm lying to you.
Overturn anything in the Constitution.
They don't, but they just add things to it, right?
5 points. I got freedom of speech and freedom of redress with my government, which is everybody's government, the government.
Okay.
And he's violating on both of those.
During the early moments of this stop, one of the deputies had unlatched one of the rear doors of the vehicle.
Am I violating your rights right now?
You did by opening my back door.
I didn't open it.
That right there says that it's open.
Is it open?
Yeah.
It looks pretty close to me.
It looks like you tried to open it, and then you stopped as you were violating my Fourth Amendment right.
It looks pretty close to me.
All these good cops, y'all. All these good cops, man. Look. One of them made it stop. He over here opening doors and sitting over here acting like he don't. Well, he not acting. He probably being dead ass honest. He don't know what the fuck is in the Constitution. Being stupid of the fact that a job that he's doing. That's like working at McDonald's and not knowing how to make a fucking burger. That's pretty much what it is. Because all they pretty much put out there is the be muscle, be enforcement. That's all that is. Be a deterrent to rich people shit and other cops and shit, politicians and things of that sort. They really have to protect your goddamn life. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, they join for good reasons. I think there's a lot of people that join to be a cop for good reasons. But once you get roped into that system, you in that system, just like being in the military, being a part of any type of team or some shit like that. It ain't about you no more. It ain't about what your mission is. It's about what the mission of the whole group is. And do you want to be in this bitch? Because your livelihood might be riding on this shit. And you probably don't want to make no enemies in here either. You might as well get along. Look, it's a game, bro. I'm gonna put it like that. But yeah, I just don't understand this shit, y'all. I really don't. It really bothers me.
Doesn't look pretty close to me. It looks like you tried to open it and you stopped because I was already.
I would have opened it all the way, right?
No, because you already heard me talking about this motherfucker violating my rights.
Once again, I can only go off what I have, and I don't have anything because this is not my.
Because you won't ask.
Because what?
You won't ask him.
Well, our supervisor's here now, so you can speak with him.
All right.
But I'm just going to tell you that, like, all of this could have been avoided by not doing whatever you did.
By not
why
using my First Amendment free speech.
That's why he stopped you, right? All of this could have been avoided. All this.
So I shouldn't use my rights because I'll get pulled over.
There's no need.
So don't use my rights and I won't get pulled over.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying don't be ignorant. There's difference.
I'm not ignorant. He's ignorant for pulling me over.
I mean, I'm not just going to drive down the road and flip people off.
I am, because it's my free speech. It's my First Amendment.
So you actually believe that he got pulled over for flipping the cops off. The only issue is you don't have a problem with your dude pulling them over. That's what it is, y'all. He don't have a problem with him pulling over. Don't be ignorant. Are you supposed to pull people over because they're ignorant? Is that your job? Bro, easy lawsuit. And that's why I try to tell you, man, look, these motherfuckers ride with each other. They ride with each other. He over here defending the other motherfucking officer. He actually believed what the dude told him happened. He really believed him. That's why he threw it back in his face. Well, I wouldn't ride down the street flipping people off. So, okay, good for you. He still pulled me over, though. You know that, right? Motherfuckers be down with the get down, bro. That's some bullshit. It's all corrupt all the way around. Hurricane said facts. Like, this shit crazy, man. What the fuck do they think? Wait, bro, I hope people are paying attention to what's going on right now. Please pay attention to what's going on. Let's see what the supervisor got to say. That's what I want to see. What the supervisor had to say, because everybody else seemed to be down with the get down.
Protected free speech. and it's a redress of grievance with my government because assholes like you guys have pulled me over and assaulted me for nothing.
I have not pulled you over. And I have not.
I said assholes like you.
Oh, okay.
Nearly 20 minutes into the detainment, a supervisor arrives on scene.
Oklahoma Halleck Sheriff's Office, your request supervisor?
Yeah.
And supervisor on duty. What's up?
Which badge number?
1333.
All right. So you're an actual supervisor?
I am the shift supervisor.
All right. This officer pulled me over because I said, fuck the police, and I flipped him off, which is my First Amendment protected free speech.
Okay.
He is now violating my rights.
Okay.
It's also my First Amendment redress of grievance with my government. So he's violating my First Amendment rights. He took all my information, which is a violation of my Fourth Amendment right, because it was against my will.
Okay.
He has no lawful reason for the stop. And I'm hoping that you'll fix it. Otherwise, we'll all be in court. And it will be a nice lawsuit.
Okay. Are you familiar with disorderly conduct, Montana Code Annotated?
I know that it can't violate my First Amendment right.
Okay. So disorderly conduct is when you disturb the peace of using profanities and such. So
No state, I just want to make sure I say this, no state can write any such law that violates your constitutional rights. They cannot write a law that violates the Constitution. Otherwise, you'll win in court every time. This cop's trying to act like, well, the state has a disorderly conduct. That don't mean shit to the goddamn Constitution, bitch. Because that's the law that we all adhere to. And when it goes into a court, what law do they refer to? The law of the United States, the Constitution, bitch. So y'all don't let that dumb shit roll off. That you know, supervisor already starting out wrong. He's starting out wrong, bro. He with the bullshit. Bitch, you can't write no fucking law to fucking violate my constitutional rights, bitch. You can't write no law to regulate my speech. You can't write no law to fucking regulate my movement of freedom. You can't do a lot of things, bitch. I can fucking I'm about to get pissed off.
Profanities are First Amendment protected speech.
okay. Well,
I am
that
sure
argument needs to be had in court. Okay. So he's finishing up some paperwork right now. Then we'll get you on your way. Right?
You might want to stop him before it goes to court because you guys are all going to get sued. You're all going to be named in a lawsuit because you guys didn't stop him from violating my rights after
He's not
everything.
He's conducting a lawful traffic stop, so. Okay.
Both occupants were cited for the encounter, and both fought the charges. During their arraignment, the judge supposed that the officer was the victim of the disorderly conduct charge.
Disorderly conduct is punishable by up to $185 fine and up to 10 days in jail. Obstructing a peace officer is up to $500 and up to 6 months in jail. So to the offenses occurring on or about April 26th of 24, how do you plead?
I'm actually not guilty. I was wondering if I could know who the victim of this disorderly conduct was.
Probably the law enforcement officer, it appears like.
How this judge found probable.
The law enforcement officer can't be the complainant. Not for constitutionally protected activities, y'all.
Cause is beyond me, as laws for disorderly conduct are typically aimed at behaviors that disturb public health.
That's what you call gang. That's gang right there. They stick together, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. Prosecutor, cops, city council, judges, they all stick together. They're probably the same. Gang. Gang, baby.
Peace that intentionally provoke violence or panic. A commonly used fleeting expletive in no way rises to that level. But even if it did, for law enforcement to be considered the victim of a disorderly conduct charge, the officer would need to be affected by the behavior in a way that interferes with their duties, or be provoked to violence. However, simply yelling an expletive immediately after it was just used in the deputy's presence.
Do you have a more current insurance? This one expired in October. All right. Here's a warning for the license plate lights. Okay, drive safe.
Does not amount to disorderly conduct. The courts have
Got your ass. That's why videos are always around, bitch. That's crazy.
ruled that officers are expected to have a certain level of tolerance for offensive language, especially given that the speech is protected under the First Amendment. Angst Audit was released without bond and was now set to appear with a court-appointed attorney who filed a motion to suppress and dismiss.
Your Honor, the First Amendment guarantees the right to freedom of speech and prohibits the state from punishing the use of words or language not within the narrowly limited exceptions that have been carved out, namely true threats that incite or defame, fighting words, obscenity. Even in these classes, the line between speech which may be freely spoken and that which may be regulated is finely drawn. In every case where speech is being prescribed, it must not unduly infringe upon the protected freedom. This means that a disorderly conduct statute can only punish unprotected speech that falls within these few limited categories and no more. The First Amendment is a living, breathing thing which needs that breathing room to survive, and the government may only regulate speech within the narrow exceptions. The state in its charging documents are alleging that Mr. Fulton committed the offense of disorderly conduct by allegedly yelling the F word out of the window at officers. The evidence in the record now reflects that Mr. Fulton may not have even been the suspect who yelled this swear word, despite the state's assertion in their answer that it was definitively Mr. Fulton.
What I saw on my traffic stop was you flipping me off and yelling out the window. I don't know who yelled. I don't know who flipped me off.
The conduct being criminalized is pure speech, which is staunchly protected by the First Amendment. We will hear evidence today that indicates someone used the word, Your Honor, pardon, but fuck, spoken into the void of the universe from a private vehicle. This expression is constitutionally protected speech because they are not fighting words, true threats, or incitement. Fighting words are words that are personally abusive epithets, which, when addressed to ordinary citizens, are, as a matter of common knowledge, likely to provoke violent response. So there was no particularized suspicion that a crime had been committed here because there were no fighting words. The missing piece of the puzzle here is that whoever yelled the profanity did not address the expletives towards anyone in particular, being shouted into the universe.
Whatever the hell they just did. All right, are we back? We back. This girl seemed like she wrote that shit down. I'll be honest with y'all. It seemed like she wrote that shit down. I gotta wait for this shit to buffer up. But yeah, it looked like she wrote a speech. Like an opening speech. Like, maybe you couldn't spit that off the top of the dome. You couldn't spit that off the top of the dome. Like, cause I would have spit that off the top of the dome, y'all. I just would have wrote down bullet points, what I need to cover in my opening address to the judge. All right, we going to trial, bitch. All right, so, hit them on constitutional speech, hit them on the video, body cam, hit them on this, on my opening statement, and we going to rock out. It sounded like she reading off a piece of paper. But at least she on point. Took her some time, she wrote it down, but I would have spit that off the dome, baby. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, though, we back up. Let's keep going.
Fall within the realm of fighting words. The word was not directed at any one person and was a single.
And I got my girl, Miss Alexis from Texas, in the building. She said, howdy, y'all. Ma'am. Ma'am. Let's keep going.
Expression. This makes the statute as applied to Mr. Fulton today unconstitutional.
During this hearing, Deputy Helmer was called to testify, and the prosecutor set up some simple questions.
I was on a traffic stop with 3 juveniles for a separate offense while I was looking at their driving documents. The defendant had driven by and yelled, I heard the F word, and then it was kind of when they were driving by, and they looked around, they were flipping me off. I ended that traffic stop and initiated the traffic stop with the defendant.
And when you said you heard the F word, was it a male voice, female, hard to tell?
It was a male voice.
Is this correct? If you were looking at the other vehicle, you heard a sound, turned around and saw that Toyota?
Yeah, I saw the Toyota with their passenger's hand out the window flipping me off.
So what was going through your head at this point?
Well, I knew that I clearly heard the profanity, especially with the 3 juveniles I was out with. I didn't believe it was okay, so I did end that traffic stop to then go after the more egregious violation.
Deputy Helmer is then asked to watch the video and point out where the word was said.
Right there is where he said it, and then you can see the hand of the passenger flipping me off.
There's a lot of car noise in this video.
Yes.
Were you able to clearly and distinctly hear the defendant yelling the F word?
If you review the video, two of the passengers also snapped their head towards that vehicle.
So then what happened from this point?
I handed back the driving documents and initiated a traffic stop with the defendant.
And did the defendant make any admissions during the course of the traffic stop?
Yes, he requested Supervisor Sokol Mayo showed up, and he told Mayo that he yelled, fuck the police.
This officer pulled me over because I said, fuck the police, and I flipped him off.
Next, Angst Audit's attorney gets to ask a few questions of their own and makes Deputy Helmer look like a complete fool.
Do you recall asking for the driver's proof of insurance?
During the traffic
initial that you're saying was interrupted by Mr. Fulton, and that initial stop you were already on?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And do you recall him handing you expired insurance?
Yes.
Okay. And so to clarify, today you've testified that the swear word was a more egregious violation.
In my opinion, yes. I can always go back and review the FCIC records and go talk to the driver after the fact.
Okay, so again, I just want to clarify, you left a stop where you had not verified that the driver had valid insurance to pursue someone who had said a swear word.
Yes.
Okay. As law enforcement.
Listen how dumb she making this motherfucker sound. So you left a stop where somebody could have actually been violating the law. You didn't verify or anything. You knew their license was, not their license, but the insurance was expired. Talking about with the kids he stopped with first. And then he left that to go chase him down. He left that stop where he had a crime right in front of him to go chase down somebody that yelled a word at him. He's a cop. That's crazy. She just made him look dumb. I know that probably went over some people's head. She just made him look dumb. Like, you really just left a legal stop where a crime was actually being committed. They go chase down somebody else because they yelled, "Fuck the police" at you? Okay.
How often do you hear swearing?
While I'm on traffic with roadside with a vehicle, very rarely.
Okay. Do you cite everyone who swears in your presence?
I do speak to them if they're going to be swearing in front of children.
Okay, but you didn't cite the Mustang driver for his use of profanity.
No, I did not.
Do you have a more current insurance? This one expired in October.
But you would admit then that not all use of swear words is disorderly. Just fine. Do you think it would be fair to assume that an average citizen would expect an officer not to abandon his duties and his criminal investigations over something as insignificant as a swear word?
I think it all comes down to circumstantial. I can't say it for every time.
Okay. Do you understand the protections of the First Amendment? Okay.
You see why they made y'all see why they made the law the way that they made the law, and it's been revised a few times to actually clarify what it should mean. Why you don't leave it up to one individual person to distinguish between cursing words, if you want to say it like that. They don't get to distinguish between which ones are disorderly. It's already been written down in law, and cops should know that. That's why when cops tell you to shut up, I be looking at people crazy when they literally shut up. Like, what? Bitch, I ain't gotta shut up, ho. Fuck you talking to, bitch? And you can put me in handcuffs all you want. You can't stop me from talking. Bitch, I had the freedom of speech, and you can't take me to jail because I'm talking. A lot of motherfuckers don't went to jail because they talking and don't know how to redress that shit in court, because I'm like, bro, they can't lock you up for that. They can't lock you up for that. But he does see a difference in between shit and fuck. he sees a difference, and shit's not a problem in his book. Fuck is. Fuck is the problem. And she got you on that one, buddy. You looking stupid right now. Let's keep going.
Are you aware that fighting words have to constitute a true threat?
So under disorderly conduct, it doesn't. I wasn't going under that part of the statute. It was the profane language.
Okay. And so are you...
He doesn't understand the contradiction, y'all. He doesn't understand. Hold up.
Abandon his duties and his criminal investigations over something as insignificant as a swear word?
I think it all comes down to circumstantial. I can't say it for every time.
Listen to this.
Do you understand the protections of the First Amendment? Okay. Are you aware that fighting words have to constitute a true threat?
So under disorderly conduct, it doesn't. I wasn't going under that part of the statute. It was the profane language.
Okay. And so
he doesn't understand that no matter what you think disorderly conduct stands for and what constitutes disorderly conduct, doesn't trump the Constitution. You agree that the Constitution protects against it, yeah, but disorderly conduct says, and you stop them. You don't understand which one's greater than the other. That's why you in court right now looking stupid. That's bad that he's a police officer. He don't know his job, y'all. He don't know his job, but guess what? He got a license to shoot your ass. He got a license to kidnap you. He got a license to extort you. But he don't know the law that he's supposed to be upholding. I think people might want to understand that you have a problem if that's the case for the people running around here with badges and guns.
So are you aware that profane language is protected speech under the First Amendment?
Yes, no.
Okay. Again, I will just reiterate that fighting words have to constitute a true threat. So knowing that, do you think that profanity is protected speech?
Again, circumstantial.
Okay. Just objection, Judge, just because he's already clarified that he wasn't cited under the fighting words statute, it was the obscenity. Would you agree that conduct constitutes speech?
Can you explain that?
It's like nonverbal communication.
Yes.
Okay. Did at any point you want to fight Kenneth or Rudy because of their words?
No.
Have you ever experienced as an officer where you've overheard someone say the word fuck and no one has fought them?
And no one fought them? Yeah.
Okay. Is it pretty unusual that someone over the word fuck would just get into a fight over that?
Cool. No. I wouldn't say it's unusual. I've seen it.
Okay. Tell me about that. Tell me about when you've seen that.
Bar fights, stuff like that. Yeah. I don't have something definitive to get your top head.
Okay. Do you think that the F word that you heard was meant to convey any kind of threat or violence against you?
I can't say for certain. Traffic stops are one of the dangerous part of my job. Those that just start screaming at me out the window could mean a whole bunch of different things.
Do you think that there was imminent danger for you with this car passing by?
I don't know at the time of stop.
Again, I just want to reiterate that you voluntarily chose to end your investigation into a violation of law to pursue someone who needs the apple cart.
In another violation of law, yes.
No further questions, Your Honor. I just would like to clarify a few points. Ms. Berry made some points about the fighting words, but just to clear up, that Deputy Helmer made a clear point that he was cited, that Mr. Fulton was cited under the profanity portion of the statute, not fighting. So making the argument a bit frivolous. Also,
that the lawyer, the prosecutor for what you call it, she's stupid too. Yeah, I'm gonna say she's stupid too. Listen to what she just said again. She don't even understand the trick that was already given to her. She's still tricked. Listen to this.
Deputy Helmer made a clear point that he was cited, that Mr. Fulton was cited under the profanity portion of the statute, not fighting. So making the argument a bit frivolous. Also,
what she doesn't understand, and for anybody who went over their head, she's arguing that the fighting word shit don't even make sense because he wasn't cited underneath that. She was giving you an out with that. You're proving her case right now. This dumbass lawyer don't even know you prove. Yeah, bitch, you can't even say it was fighting words. Yeah, you're right. So me saying fuck was illegal to pull me over. You still eating on a bone that you think you just said something. Bitch, fighting words would be the only thing that would get your officer out of this situation, out of this lawsuit. And you just threw that out the window talking about, yeah, she thinks she said something. Bitch, if it ain't that, then what the fuck is it? You can't pull somebody up. This lawyer is stupid. Like, I don't think her logic was kicking in the head, but I think she thought she said something. She's talking about that shit was irrelevant. Okay, you're right. It was irrelevant, bitch.
profanity portion of the statute, not fighting. So making the argument a bit frivolous. Also,
frivolous.
She focused quite a bit on his decision to leave the current traffic stop to pursue another one. So that's police discretion, that he can absolutely make a choice based on being on the ground and what is the more pressing matter. And again, there was the mention of imminent danger. None of that is part of the statute. It is just that they knowingly disturb the peace by shouting profanity. And as you saw, those here.
That was, look, I'm just telling y'all, that's some terrible closing arguments. That is terrible, baby. How long you went to school? To become prosecutor, you had to go to law school and pass the bar and all that. And that was the argument you came up with. Look, there's some people that are really good at just taking tests, and then there's smart people. I'm just putting it like that. I would like that. There's some people out here that are really good at taking tests, and then there are smart people.
So the state has correctly assessed that he was cited under the profane use of language. The argument that we've made today and in our motion to dismiss is that that, as applied, is unconstitutional because the words do not rise to the level of fighting words. They are protected First Amendment speech. As to Deputy Helmer's choice to leave the traffic stop, this just speaks to the fact that
hey, look how she came in firing, bro. She came in and firing, just pretty much just threw that shit right in that bitch face. You try to say that little dumb shit talking about fighting words is irrelevant. Okay, bitch, let me tell you why you was stupid. Let me tell you why you just lost this case. Say it again, girl, one more time. Hallelujah for this girl.
So the state has correctly assessed that he was cited under the profane use of language. The argument that we've made today and in our motion to dismiss is that that, as applied, is unconstitutional because the words do not rise to the level of fighting words. They are protected First Amendment speech. As to Deputy Helmer's choice to leave the traffic,
stupid. Whoever that prosecutor is stupid. I'm sorry, y'all.
Stop. This just speaks to the fact that it was not an obstruction of justice. He chose to voluntarily end his traffic investigation to pursue what he perceived to be another violation of law. So there cannot be an obstruction of justice where there's a choice voluntarily made by the officer. Again, Your Honor, I'd like to reiterate that the issue that we've raised today in the motion.
Got your ass again. They didn't interrupt your shit to stop you from doing what you was doing. You chose to leave that stop and go to another one. That's not obstruction. Got your ass again. Bro, I like this girl. I still think she writing shit down, like in paragraphs and shit. But at least she on point. I just don't like that you writing shit down because that's what it sounds like you reading off a piece of paper.
to dismiss is that this is a First Amendment violation as applied. We're not arguing that the Constitution as a whole is unconstitutional, but as it is applied to basic consent, it is unconstitutional because it is attempting to punish protected speech. Regarding the motion to dismiss, I would just like to reiterate, I mean, on the motions we've already submitted, don't want to waste, of course, time anymore, but State versus Robinson, it was a 2003 case. It was so similar to these facts that the Montana Supreme Court specifically addressed whether or not this disorderly conduct statute was constitutional.
Inkst Audit's motion to dismiss was denied, and his case was set for a jury trial in January of 2020.
Think about that dirty ass judge now. Think about dirty ass judge. Common sense was made up in there. Law stood right in front of you. We want to dismiss the trial. Nope, they don't want to dismiss. We're going to trial, y'all.
However, a month prior at a pretrial hearing, this happened.
Judge, this is probably just a slow paperwork slowdown in our office, but I filed to submit this case in the past day or so. You just probably haven't received the motion from us yet. Submitted for what? That the case be dismissed. Were you aware of that? I have not seen an order yet. Yeah, I haven't seen anything. That's what I told my paralegal. I gave her the case, but she has a stack, so it's probably in her basket. But just didn't want to hold this up here. Okay, can you have it filed by Friday? Yes, sir. Easily.
And now, with the case dismissed, the judge.
I want y'all to understand the problem that's going on right here now. All right. So they go in there and make their arguments. Go in there and make their arguments for the case. Obviously, we can see which one is fucked up and which one ain't. The judge, part of that gang, trying to tell y'all, gang, heard this shit and should have kicked that shit out of court right then and there. Said, no, let's go to trial. So at another pre-trial hearing, y'all, the little times you come in there in between, whatever the fuck's about to go down at trial, the prosecutors coming here. I guess they got some goddamn sense and realize, like, yeah, man, fuck, we probably gonna lose this shit, bro, if we take this to trial. Let me just go and dismiss these charges right here, right now. And the judge is like, oh, okay, well, get it to me by Friday. Like, bitch, just with the bullshit. Like, you heard the arguments on both sides before. I think it's the same judge. Hopefully it's the same judge. If it ain't, I don't know what the fuck to say about this judge then. But the arguments were heard in the first when it was first brought to a judge. And you went along with the bullshit, hearing the arguments from the state and from the goddamn defense. And you still was like, yeah, let it go to trial. Bitch, what? You supposed to stop it right there, dumbass. So now you about to get the city fucked up. Either way, though, I'm sorry. Let me see. I got Uncanny in the building. Said, my bad. Hold on. Let me read Hurricanes first. He said, not only we have bad cops, but we have retarded ones as well. Yeah, he wrote that a little bit earlier. My bad. I'm a little late to this shit. And Uncanny said, Jay, they read our papers for cross-examination and to explain why he was wrong instead of memorizing everything. Yeah, I would just write some bullet points. Yeah, I would just write certain words. Like when I'm doing like a show like this or some shit, I'll write down, or I'm doing like a video, I'll just write down key words to help me remember what the fuck point I was supposed to hit next. And then after that, I'm good. I don't need that shit. But then look, some people might need that shit. They might have to write down the whole goddamn write a whole story and go and tell their story in court. But you should have a good enough memory to remember what the fuck the law is. But either way though, let me keep going because the judge is in on it. Now the prosecutors want to come in and say, "Nah, we just a little late throwing this shit out. Yeah, we want to dismiss this trial because you're wrong. This motherfucker better sue."
Dax is probably in her basket, but just didn't want to hold this up here. Okay, can you have it filed by Friday? Yes, sir. Easily.
And now, with the case dismissed, the judge held the Inkst audits to lecture him.
All right, Mr. Fulton, it appears that the state has chosen to dismiss this case against you. I did rule against you after that hearing. I suggest you maybe look at the law a little closer about rights and consider that if somebody did something and distracted a law enforcement officer and they were trying to help your family, that it could be really detrimental. So just think about that. If you don't like them or whatever the gig was with law enforcement, just try to consider the whole situation, that if they were in the process of helping your family member that needed something, or your family member had just had a problem and law enforcement was trying to investigate that could be a distraction that could hurt someone or cause a problem. And it would be a real travesty if it happened to be your family.
To clarify, the officer was
Yeah, this shit crazy, bro. This shit wild. You saw that shit, man? The fuck?
Gang. This is a fucking judge. It's probably the same judge. Now I can bring that energy back in. It's probably the same judge. You gonna try to talk to this man, talk down to this man, and tell him what he need to do? You're the fucking judge, bitch. You, Jesus Christ, y'all. This is the fucking judge. That's why you know it's gang all day around here. You supposed to know the law. You're in here to rule over the law, and you reprimanding this man for saying "fuck, bitch" when that shit is not illegal. What kind of shit is going on right here? Like, what is this? Ooh, wee. Sue. And hopefully you get a judge that's not one of these dumb motherfuckers, please. And write that judge name down on it too. You don't reprimand me after the fact, bitch. Yo officers that you work with in cahoots with, you're probably getting smashed on the weekend by one of them. They violating citizens' rights. You supposed to enforce the law, bitch. You the final rule on it. You sitting over here reprimanding me after these bitches gave up on their case because they knew they were wrong. You still gonna double down with the team. You gonna get the final lick in before I walk up out of here, huh? That's what we doing? You the last one that want to get a slap in. You crazy. Man, they lucky I'll be in court. I say something. I'm like, bitch.
Just think about that. If you don't like them or whatever the gig was with law enforcement, just try to consider the whole situation, that if they were in the process of helping your family member that needed something, or your family member had just had a problem and law enforcement was trying to investigate that could be a distraction that could hurt someone or cause a problem. And it would be a real travesty if it happened to be your family.
Could be or is, bitch. Shut the fuck up. I'm sorry about that shit, y'all. We ain't in court. You ain't supposed to make a decision on could be, bitch. What the fuck is and what ain't? Who the fuck are you talking to? Man, please. Jesus Christ, bro.
To clarify, the officer wasn't helping anyone. He was attempting to issue a citation to a teenager for having allegedly blue license plate lights. But then she sidetracks even harder and brings up people who fail to yield to an ambulance.
I like to refer to things like this. Of an ambulance is coming down the road and people won't pull over because they don't think they need to, and it's not a big deal unless it's your dad having a heart attack in the back of that ambulance, okay?
Now, if you thought that was bad, she ends her rant by claiming that officers don't make enough money to have to listen to us measly citizens when we voice our frustrations in ways that they don't like.
I don't know what the hang-up is or why you're unhappy with law enforcement, but hopefully you can get that resolved so we don't see this. And I hope you understand that those law enforcement officers don't make enough money to be a distraction to people, or they're just out trying to do their jobs, okay? You can probably be a bigger help than hindrance, okay?
And with the case dismissed.
Hold on. I gotta find something. Again!
Please stop talking!
Look, dude, y'all, that is so fucking wrong, bro. I don't understand what level. Damn, Jesus Christ, bro. This is just bad, man.
Don't let the liberal media tell you how to think and feel. If you have hate in your heart, let it out.
I really want to let it out, y'all. I want to let it out. That judge should be disbarred. She should be kicked off the fucking bench. I hope I don't ever find out who you is, bitch. Cause I'm gonna clip that shit and I'm gonna play it back over and over and over. Ooh, I might need to put this in short video format. Y'all. Cause this is crazy. That is bitch. Give a let's finish it.
Angst audits plans to pursue civil action against Deputy Helmer, as well as others that were on scene. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. All of the videos used.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to get an update on this one, y'all. Be on standby. We're gonna get an update on that. I hope this motherfucker sue. And I hope they win. I hope they go before a judge that's actually got some goddamn sense. Cause I think this is a lot of what would you call this? Conspiracy going on. Yeah, it's conspiracy going on. And it really bothers me. You know good and goddamn well the officer was wrong. You supposed to know the law. You're the judge. and you sitting in here trying to tell me what the fuck after they fuck their case up and know they wrong and dismiss it. You want to make sure you get the last lick in by telling me, well, you need to understand this, and it could be. Bitch, shut the fuck up. I don't fuck about no goddamn could be, bitch. That ain't what we in here for. Shut your Karen ass up. Bet money her husband cheating on her goofy ass. Bitch, like her and the prosecutor. All these motherfuckers seem like super fucking dummies. I'm glad I don't live up there in no goddamn, where the fuck they was in? This ain't Kentucky, is it? Nah, that was the last video. I don't know where the fuck these motherfuckers was. I'm glad I don't live up. But the sad part is a lot of cops and judges and all these motherfuckers stupid. Yeah, you right, Hurricane. It is some kangaroo court. That's kangaroo court right there. That's kangaroo court right there. Like, it's like you read the rules. You cannot go right. Suspect went right. Yeah, he's guilty. My bad, wrong one. Suspect can't go right. The rule on the book is you can only go right. You can't go left. And they locked this bitch up for going right when right was legal. Like, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy, man. Look, I don't even know if I want to do this shit to myself, man. I got one more, man. I got one more, but I don't know if I want to do this one, because that one right there, I didn't watch that one all the way through, y'all. That just irritated the fuck out of me. I ain't even bullshitting with you, man. But dude, that I see why some people come in and fucking just let it go. Just let it go. Like, shit, this is the last hoorah. That's crazy, bro. That shit got my chest hot, bro. My chest is really hot right now. I'm triggered. Ooh, yeah, I'm triggered. That should bother everybody. I guess I just care too much. I don't know what the fuck that is, but nah, this ain't it. But look, we got another one. Fuck. We got another one, y'all. And pretty much, I guess, similar for. I don't even know what the fuck to say similar for. I don't think it's similar to none of these bitches, man. My chest hurting like a motherfucker. Had a heart attack on goddamn fucking stream, y'all. They pissed me off. Ooh, fuck. Nah, we got some other cops doing some dumb shit, man. Look, we just gonna watch it, man, and see what the fuck we got, man. Let's see what we got.
What's the violation? When I give you the ticket, you'll see. Give me your license, please. Any weapons on you? I don't answer questions. All right. You just go in custody now, so you want to cooperate.
Nothing in my actions should have been perceived as a threat.
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. In July of 2024, a viewer named Greg was riding his Harley when he noticed a partial roadblock in the intersection ahead. Several orange cones spanned across the road, but only blocked the lanes of oncoming traffic. A parked cruiser was in front of them, but no officers appeared to be present. The lanes furthest to the right of traffic were not blocked by cones, so Greg slowed down and passed through. But as he did, the cruiser that was parked in the intersection immediately pulled out after him. Upon noticing the cruiser, Greg turned around and pulled into the hospital parking lot to address the officer. And as Greg parks, Officer Steve Jones drops off his partner to continue directing traffic before following Greg into the parking lot.
All right, y'all. So we see what happened, y'all. We see what happened, man. Look, the motherfucker, he just they got half the street blocked off, so he think the other side clear, so he drive on by, and the dude hit the lights. Hit him with the lights. Whoop. Hit him with the lights. So he turned his ass around. I was like, oh, I ain't supposed to be able to come in here, because if I couldn't come in here, y'all would have blocked the whole road. But, okay, whatever the fuck. Let me turn around. Let me get on up out of here. But they pull up behind him. Let's see how this shit play out. Because clearly that should be a misunderstanding. And y'all not doing y'all job right. Block the whole fucking street off. Like, if you can't block it off with the cones, fucking drive your car over there. But either way, though, let's see.
Section immediately pulled out after him. Upon noticing the cruiser, Greg turned around and pulled into the hospital parking lot to address the officer. And as Greg parks, Officer Steve Jones drops off his partner to continue directing traffic before following Greg into the parking lot.
Yeah, Anunnaki, man, you gotta block the whole street, man. You say you either block the entire street, question mark, or partial. No, you block the whole. If one lane's blocked off, you block that lane off. If you don't want nobody coming down the street at all, you block the whole street off. You have to like that's common sense. You don't want nobody coming through here. Why you gonna leave half the street open? Because people see cones all the time. You got people parking in bus lanes and shit like that. Like, bitch, block the whole street off if you don't want nobody coming down that way.
Recording.
You got your license with you?
Yeah, what do you call me over for?
for going across a roadblock.
There was no block on one lane, dude. You had a lane was totally unblocked. Why would I think it was the whole road closed?
You're the only one that's trying to go by. Where's your license at? You got a police car with lights on and cones across the roadway.
Empty lane, there's cones all the way across except the lane.
Anyways, license.
So what's the violation?
When I give you the ticket, you'll see. Give me your license, please. Any weapons on you?
I don't answer questions.
Okay, keep your hands up.
You're such a
Yeah.
you are a fucking coward.
All right. You can just go in cuffs now, so you don't want to cooperate.
You are a ass mother. Oh wait, you got the body cam on?
Yeah.
And he asked him for his driver's license, y'all. And he was digging for his driver's license, and you put him in handcuffs? Okay.
Why you gotta cuff me like that all tight? Nobody resisted you.
After observing Greg's license, Officer Jones now begins to look through the contents of his wallet.
I didn't say you could root through my wallet, dude. You don't get to search me.
I know what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not.
You're not allowed to go through my wallet.
All right, let's have a seat.
They're not allowed to go through your wallet, just so you know. Get your ID out, and that's it. Close your wallet back up. They're not allowed to rummage through your shit. He's not even under arrest right now. Just put him in handcuffs for no fucking reason. Which can constitute an arrest, though. Just throwing that out there, too.
See my car.
Yeah, that's right. Garbage can, motherfucker. Don't be pushing on me and shit either, dude. I'm not resisting you. You don't have to shove me around.
Have a seat.
Why is my cuff like this?
I do want to ask this question, though. Y'all, think about this, man. People talk about these people out here protecting and serving and doing all this. Bro, everybody they fucking with the lay down boys. Everybody they fucking with is the people that's not threatening to them. Like, look, this dude, he went down the road. Y'all wanted him not to be able to go down that road, but you didn't have it blocked off. So that's on y'all, man. Now you fucking with him. You can't admit that you was wrong and didn't do your job correctly. You gonna pull him over and try to hem him up. Now you got him in handcuffs. Like, dude, y'all pulled over a dude earlier for fucking giving you the finger. Like, how sensitive can you be? Like, what's going on? Y'all not fucking with the hard criminals, the ones out here actually putting bullets in people's faces, you know? Because, you know, every time we had some of them school shootings, a lot of them cops got in trouble because they ain't want to go in. They ain't want to go in and stop the threat because, you know, we got little kids in here and shit. You know, their lives need to be safe. Nah, we need to set up a perimeter. But lay down people, you know, people that ain't being violent and shit, it seems like the ones y'all go after. It seems like the lay down boys always be the ones getting going after. I ain't gonna say it.
Why is my cuff so tight?
Because he don't give a fuck. Because he don't give a fuck.
Huh? You gotta get on your computer boy to figure out why you fucking cuffed me? That's why everybody hates you. And maybe dude was standing out there when everybody else went by like he is now. Maybe that's why they didn't stop. But you gotta be a tough guy. I'll put you in cuffs because you said bad words to me that I don't like. Just a little boy. I'm suing your ass for this. Thank you. Dude, why is this cuff so tight like this? Can I get my cuff loosened? There ain't no warrants, dude. You're gonna have to fucking arrest me for some fake shit. Oh, you guys make me sick.
It should be noted here that per the Toledo Police Standard Operating Guidelines 7.1, at all times when controlling traffic, regardless of lighting conditions, officers shall wear department-issued reflective safety vests. The very next subsection describes the motions and hand signals to use for manually directing traffic. However, no officer was exposed or present to direct incoming vehicles.
Can I get this cuff loosened?
I'll check it in a minute.
You'll check it in a minute? Why am I even in cuffs? Can we get a supervisor here?
Sure. Plus, I mean, we already got a motorcycle stop through the barricade.
An officer from the hospital, a completely different department, now approaches the cruiser.
Yeah. Hey.
This dude wants to fucking bootlick your ass.
I'm running that. I can show you too if you need to see it. No, we should have. Our one camera caught it. Because it busted through the barricade here. Yeah. I mean, we might need it for court if anything. Not right now. Okay.
Hey, how about this cuff?
Hey. Yeah, no, we have a motorcycle that thought he could just, since his motorcycle fit through the cones, he can just go through.
Why are you hurting me for no reason, dude?
All right. Hey, what do you know the code offhand for blowing through barricades like that?
Nobody resisted you. I shouldn't even be in cuffs, much less like this.
Y'all heard what the officer just said, right? Let him say that one more time.
All right. Hey, what do you know the code offhand for blowing through barricades like that?
So he don't even know what the code is for what he actually got this guy in the back of the police car for. Like, if he did break the law, he think he broke the law, but he don't know what law he broke. He don't know the code for it. See, Anunnaki said, by the way, why the cop's car had no lights flashing to indicate the road closure? That's another good point, Anunnaki. Look, that's another point. This motherfucker don't know what the fuck he don't know what it is. Like Hurricane said, got him. He don't know what the fuck, man. And this is the people that take our tax dollars involuntarily, because I don't volunteer to get my shit away. I'll be honest with you. I'll be like, I'm good on that. I'd rather just defend myself and figure it the fuck out than give my money to folks that can take money from me. I'd definitely rather do that. But he don't know what the fuck the code is that this dude broke. He don't. But he got him in handcuffs in the back of a car. So pretty much he got this man kidnapped at gunpoint. Let's keep going, y'all.
Nobody resisted you. I shouldn't even be in cuffs, much less like this.
Okay, I think there's another one. I think failure to comply or something.
Failure to comply?
Thanks. This guy's been like uncooperative and an ass the whole time.
I could kind of tell when we were watching from over there. I could see he was not the best of moods. Our one corner camera over there, I could see it pretty much clear as day.
Yeah, if you guys just want to save it, yeah. The only time we'll need it is maybe for court.
Okay. Yeah, just you need to call our facility, Chatsworth Police Department. As for Lieutenant Cooper or Chief Rose, and they can they'll work on.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah, I gotta go to our facility visitation.
Gang, gang. Man, just let me know, man. You know I got the video for you. What, bro? You stupid too, and think that if they ain't got the whole road blocked off, that somebody can't go through there. Look who they hiring, bro. Look, gang. Y'all better recognize when y'all see it.
Get back from that. Well, what do you need? Just him going through it?
Just him, obviously. I mean, any reasonable person can see that that's a roadblock and you should not go through it. He thought because his motorcycle fit.
The hospital footage was never collected. We assumed that it would show that no officer was present at the time.
What ended up being the whole deal over there?
Just a real bad accident. I don't know if anything's fatal, but probably some serious injuries.
Here, camera, look how this fool has me handcuffed.
Yeah, well, I saw 4 engines full up.
Yeah. At first, I think they were trapped in the cars.
Yeah.
All because he didn't like my words.
It now appears that Officer Jones radios to his partner to inform him that a supervisor is coming, as he had made the request over the phone.
Plus, anyone. The traffic stop is requesting a supervisor.
Oddly enough, immediately afterwards, Officer Welch, without a high visibility vest directing traffic, suddenly gathers all the cones and moves them so that they are blocking the lanes that Greg was traveling through.
So I'll pull the footage, I'll forward it, and I'll email my chief and LT. So if you guys end up reaching out for it, they'll know
I appreciate it.
Stay cool out. It's a little fun.
As the officer in the road fixes the cones, Officer Jones now tries to fix the cuffs before his supervisor arrives.
Turn around. Where's the supervisor?
I called for one. Flip it.
I'm not. That's right.
Greg has now been detained for 12 minutes.
So you write this ticket?
Of course.
Only not so long. You can't delay the shit indefinitely because you got me illegally in handcuffs. You still got to do it. You still got to write the ticket. You're out chit-chatting with your Thin Blue Line gang member buddy from another department while you got me hemmed up in here while you're supposed to be writing me a ticket.
Nearly 20 minutes into the detention, a supervisor, Sergeant McCaddy, arrives and speaks to the officer at the road before pulling in to speak to Greg and Officer Jones.
So, He's in the back of my car.
Another 5'2" motherfucker.
The officer lies about the situation, misleading the supervisor to believe that Greg passed through the scene as it is currently presented, giving the appearance that all lanes were blocked.
He thought, I guess, because his bike fit between the cones that the lane was open. Sure, okay. So we blooped him right away. He flipped around, started running his mouth. It's the start.
Okay.
So I get over.
He came through over here?
Yeah, he was going northbound.
Okay, and he did pass the cone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then he, as soon as he got over here, I came up. He's, again, just being uncooperative.
Sure.
Running his mouth.
All right, here we go now. We got to do it. We got to do it one time. I knew I was going to be able to do it.
That ain't right. That ain't right. It ain't right.
Yeah, I see what he did. You see how he explained it? Like the supervisor, he looking at where the cones are right now. So when he says like he just blew through the cones. Yeah. Well, he's looking at the cones out there right now. So if you say he drove on the wrong side of the road to go around y'all, yeah, he would think that he has a legit arrest. But I think that's what they call it, tampering with evidence and shit. Like, look. I'm just going, Anunnaki, you right about that. Said, yep, that ain't right, her shit. Bruh, it's crazy. Okay. Well, I see where we going, y'all.
Okay. Asked for his license. Took him a while to furnish it because he was running his mouth. Sure. Asked if he had any weapons. He's like, I don't answer questions. I see he's got a knife right in his waistband. Okay. So I took the knife out. It's under my tire right there.
Yeah.
So since that, I put him in cuffs.
Yeah,
it's like, what else are you gonna do?
Right. No, I hear you.
So he's just been running his mouth the whole time. Wants to talk to the supervisor.
Okay.
That's not
back to him, owns it?
Nope. Comes back to probably a girlfriend or wife or something.
Hello? You requested a supervisor?
Yeah, this dude's got my cuff all jacked up for no reason.
Okay.
He just cuffed me for no reason. I did exactly what he said to do. And they didn't have the whole thing blocked off like that when I came through.
Okay.
And there was no one standing out there.
Okay.
So we're like, well, whatever. So I don't know.
Okay.
But he said, hey, you can't go down there. So I said, I turned around. So I don't know. I don't know why I should be cuffed and all this for that.
Okay.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. So, right?
All right.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it sounds kind of like from your non-compliance there at the beginning, you know?
What non-compliance? He said, pull over. I pulled over.
Okay.
So I don't know what non-compliance you would be referring to. Okay. There is no non-compliance.
Okay. You the owner of that bike?
It's my bike.
So, okay. So when we run the plate, it'll come back to you?
It'll come back to my wife.
Oh, it's your wife. Okay. Are you a secondary owner or anything like that?
I mean, I own it.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's registered to my wife.
Okay.
It's titled to myself.
Okay. All right. And you do have insurance on it?
Of course.
Okay. You do have a motorcycle?
Of course.
Right. Well, my assumption would be that you probably would get a citation today, okay?
But is all this really necessary for a citation because his ego's hurt?
I mean, he has the right to detain you. I mean, that's the whole traffic stop right here. It's not necessarily that you're
Right.
under arrest.
I know, but like, so what's the reason for pulling me off my motorcycle in a violent fashion and putting cuffs on me like this? Is your body cam running?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, look at that. Why would
the
this be
camera's
like
going,
this?
that camera's going, all the audio's going, his is going.
So, I mean, it just seems like he was mad the way he squeezed this down on me, and I didn't resist at all. He pushed me around all the way over to this car.
Okay. Are you injured in any manner?
I don't know yet. I'm in shock.
Oh, okay.
I just want you to see, and I know you don't care.
I mean, there's cameras.
I mean, I know
It's all
you-
on camera. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing with the citation, okay? There's a citation. It doesn't mean you're guilty, okay? That's why they give you a court date. You don't have to go to court date if you don't want. If you're insured, you don't have to. You can just pay it and not worry about it. Or you can go to court and you can plead your case to a judge. We're not the judge, jury, executioner, okay? All we need is probable cause for a citation, okay? Not proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, I understand how it works. I'm not disputing anything other than him grabbing me up and snatching me up for no reason at all.
Okay.
There was no probable cause that I was going to do something.
Okay.
Non-compliance other than my mouth, but that doesn't really hold up in court.
Sure, you're not being charged with obstruction. So if you're being verbally non-compliant, you got a knife in your waistband, you're really not responding to what you have to say, he has the right to pursue you.
Yeah, I wasn't being non-compliant. I just told him things he didn't like to hear. It's not non-compliance. I didn't say, I'm not going to do what you say or anything like that. I just said what I said.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to say it verbatim. You know?
I gave him no reason to think I was a threat in any way, shape, or form. There was nothing in my actions should have been perceived as a threat at all. As far as I'm concerned, this is an arrest. I mean, really, whatever the Supreme Court says doesn't matter. You have violently attacked me and thrown me in the back of the car for like going on, what, 20, 30 minutes now?
What was your first name again, sir?
Greg.
Sorry?
Greg.
Greg? Okay. How did he violently attack you? Did he strike you?
He snatched me up.
What do you mean by snatch?
And then he shoved me all the way over here.
Shoved you?
Yeah.
Were you able to keep your balance on?
For sure. Doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Okay. I'm just trying to get the gist of what your definition
Well, we'll be going to trial. So I'm going to play the Bible thing. No,
Yeah, absolutely.
we're gonna definitely go to trial.
Absolutely.
I take everything.
Heck, you might not even have to go to trial. The judge might just throw it out for you.
Funny he should mention that. Greg was released with a citation that reads, failure to comply, but the Ohio Revised Code that was cited is for driving in marked lanes. With the citation written incorrectly, all charges were dropped the very next day. Greg would then go on to file a complaint with the department, and the agency investigated itself. The investigator appears to have been biased in his reporting, writing that he found his fellow officer, quote, asked if the motorcycle operator had any weapons on him while Greg went into his pocket to retrieve his wallet. Greg tells Officer Jones, I don't answer questions. Now not quoting, as he continues to do exactly what was requested by the officer.
So what's the violation? When I give you the ticket, you'll see. Give me your license, please. Any weapons on you? I don't answer questions. Okay, keep your hands up. You're such a... Yeah. All right. You can just go in custody now, so you want to cooperate.
Internal Affairs considers this action as Greg's non-compliance and suggests that he continued to not comply. It then claims that Greg was under arrest rather than just questionably detained, and that the search of the wallet was lawful as it was a search incident to arrest. But Greg was not under arrest. The supervisor confirms this.
I mean, that's like a whole traffic stop. You know, it's not necessarily that you're
Right.
under arrest.
I know, but like, so what's the reason for pulling me off my motorcycle in a violent fashion and putting cuffs on me like this?
An officer can detain a person during a traffic stop and place them in cuffs if they believe that the person is armed and dangerous. But if the officer has not arrested the person and does not have consent, going through the contents of a wallet beyond the driver's license would be considered an unlawful search in violation of the Fourth Amendment. And during that unlawful search, you can see that Officer Jones finds Greg's license immediately, as Greg had already unsleeved it, leaving no reason whatsoever for Officer Jones to rummage through the other contents of the wallet.
Why you gotta cuff me like that all tight? Nobody resisted you. I didn't say you could root through my wallet, dude. You don't get to search me.
I know what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not.
You're not allowed to go through my f***ing wallet.
The Internal Affairs report finally claims that the complaint of being pushed by Officer Jones is not confirmed by the body cam, but it's currently unclear whether the investigator reviewed the footage of Officer Jones' partner across the street.
All right, let's have a seat in my car.
Yeah, that's right. Garbage can.
Or the footage from the hospital.
Be pushing on me and either, dude. I'm not resisting.
Any footage from him running that? I can show you too if you need to see it.
No, we should have.
It's our one camera caught it.
Nor were either of those videos released. The investigator also ignored the policy violations of wearing high visibility vests, as well as needlessly extending the traffic stop, and thus, no actions were taken. And Officer Jones will likely continue to unlawfully search detainees and mislead his supervisors. And maybe next time, it'll be you. So let me know what you think of this interaction. And if you have a video...
So we all just saw what happened, right? We all saw what happened. Yeah, that's some straight up bullshit. All the way around. That's some bullshit all the way around. I'm just triggering myself all night tonight because I ain't watching none of these videos all the way through. So I didn't get to see everything that happened. I kind of got a quick, hot second take of it. It's like, all right. So you pulled a man over for going through, driving down the street on the side of the road that y'all didn't have cones on. Then you put him in handcuffs. Yep, you know what Thursdays are. Put him in handcuffs, rummaged through his wallet, threw him in the back of the police car, then lied to your lieutenant, told your homeboy out there on the street, move the cones to the other side. So when he get here, I'm gonna tell him, yeah, he just drove through that shit. You know, we hit him with the lights. That's pretty much how it happened. That's how everything started. Like, nah, bro, you had the cones on the other side, and nobody's sitting in the back of the police car, not trying to argue his point the right way. He don't know how to talk, and that's why they hit him with it. Because he's stupid. The point that he should have kept harping on was they had the cones on the other side of the road, so this entire lane was free. To go through. They didn't block it off. With no people there, with no car there. They just had the cones on the other side and they were parked behind the cones. So I thought I could go down the road. That's what you should have came with. But nah, the old dude had already gave his goddamn story. So you already knew what time it was. Like the officer gonna believe his other officer. But you ain't argue your point good. And the investigator that investigated this, obviously, y'all, once again, these some blind motherfuckers. They can't see what the fuck is happening right in front of their faces, like that judge in the very first one. She watched the video multiple times. Multiple times, y'all. She had to watch it multiple times to come to the conclusion that the officer was wrong. She watched it that many times to prove that the officer, maybe she missed something to prove that the officer was innocent of what he did. Whoever the investigator that watched this shit, then they probably just watched the first time and said, nope, didn't see nothing. Officer good. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. This is a problem, man. This is a real big problem, man. I don't know why other people aren't disturbed with it, but we need to get some folks that's a little disturbed with it. Yeah, we might need to get some people that's a little pissed off about it. I need some more people to care about this shit like I care about this shit, because bro, it's just gonna be you the next day. Whether people know it or not, man, eventually this shit gonna catch up to you, man. You gonna find one of these motherfuckers on some hoe ass shit, and then it's gonna be like, oh, now, yeah, we need to say something about the cops. I'm like, nah, bro, how about you say something about it beforehand? Say something about that shit beforehand, before it happened to you. They got that old saying, or like a little quote. I don't know how the fuck, what would you call it? But it was like, when they came for my neighbor, I said nothing. But when they came for me, no one was there to say anything for me. Yeah, because you ain't say nothing for your neighbor, dumbass. They took your neighbor away, and it's kind of like, I think that shit came from like during the Holocaust or some shit like that. I think that's when that shit popped off. I'm like, man, look, we got to start giving a fuck about our fellow Americans, and we can't keep allowing this bullshit to keep happening. They're taking our tax dollars and they're violating citizens and extorting them for money. That's all it is, bro. It's a gang. I don't care what nobody talking about gang all day around this bitch. And motherfuckers get mad about it. If you not that cop, like, because I know some cops, most cops probably get mad about these type of videos. If you ain't that cop, man, be the example. Be the example and don't stand for that whole ass shit. But I didn't cover videos, y'all, where cops actually speak up. The whole department turned on that motherfucker and they try to get that bitch fired. They try to get that motherfucker up out of there. Like, bro, you gotta go. You trying to do the law, bitch. We trying to just do what we do, nigga. It's like, that's what the fuck it is, man. I don't know what people be thinking around here, but look, man, we came, we saw, we conquered, man. We did what we had to do, man. This some, like, my chest hurt. I'm hot. I'm bothered about this bitch. Like, I don't like that shit, man. I don't think y'all should be okay with it either. But look, it is what it is, man. Look, we gotta get on it, man. Change one mind every day. Get one, we can have an army eventually. But man, y'all hit that like, y'all hit that subscribe, turn the notice on, share the videos. Make sure y'all click all on them notice, man. And we're gonna be right back in this bitch tomorrow doing the Friday night show. For y'all that don't know, it'll be over on Let's Talk with JVJ, the JVJ Network, and on Facebook. Make sure y'all tune in on one on. Make sure y'all sub and like on all them bitches. But yeah, we gonna have some good conversations, see how this shit pop off, and see. Let me read these comments real quick. Like Hurricane said, a big example, like the white guy off training day that fought back Denzel. Yeah, like him, man. That boy he had to go through it. And see, Anunnaki said, if the sheriff is elected, the city is safe. If the sheriff is selected, the city is fucked. I think they fucked anyway, whether he's elected or not. I told you, we got too many dumbasses out here that think the cops don't never do no wrong. That'd be the problem. It don't matter which one it is. It's still a problem if he a fucked up individual. Because people don't give a fuck. Man, they reelected Trump. Man, it's crazy. See, Hurricane said, like, subscribe, like, share, and subscribe. All right, appreciate that. You say, I thought it was Friday today. Shit, I wish it was. And then he also was laughing. Yeah, I wish it was Friday too, y'all. But we'll be back in this bitch tomorrow, man. Finish the week out. I hope y'all have a good night. And your boy catch you in the next one as always, man. Peace.